Let's Plays, because I've seen what you get when you're not doing that, and, well, let's just say I don't want to be that. I want to try and be as professional and high quality as I can. In fact, I'm going to cut the LP off right now. And I think that that will actually be in the second part of the video, which will be amusing. So, I'm just going to kill off these guys here. I could use my magic more, and, oh, one thing I should mention. Down here, obviously, the SP is my magic points. I've got 13 out of 13 right now. My HP is 32 out of 37, and the red bar indicates my experience. When it gets all the way full, then I gain a level, which is obviously a good thing. Obviously, the kobolds are a stronger enemy. In fact, I actually forgot they were even in this dungeon. There are different varieties of them. They actually have a ranged attack, though they, like that, don't use it nearly as often as they use the charge attack, which they only really use if you get directly in front of them. And hopefully that sound didn't get picked up by anything. Sounded like Skype made a sound or something like that. Let's see here. See? Those attacks can be very, very useful. But as you can see, they didn't give me a chain because they're not really normal enemies. And here we go with the plants. These guys give you status effects, usually like poison, if I remember correctly, which is kind of nasty. There is a cure for poison, obviously, which... Oh, and there's Louie using his shield. Louie is the only character that quite has that. Other characters do, but it's not quite the range. Oh, and there's the rock trap. Interestingly enough, if you didn't see that, the red slime got hit by that trap because enemies get hit by the traps in this game, which actually can make certain traps beneficial, like the trout trap. I wouldn't blame you if you didn't believe me that there's such a thing as a trout trap, but I will make sure I get that on film. Certain things I won't be able to get on film naturally, or I won't have on film, because, for example, these dungeons, while every dungeon has different enemies, for the most part, the dungeon floors are very redundant. You have a different layout, something shaped similar to the one we're in right now, as you can see, something like this. Different enemies throughout. You can see where there's going to be a path trailing off because there's a gap. But they get pretty large, and they're never really all that special. So I'll generally show like 1 or 2 floors of a dungeon. I'll record the whole thing, so if anything interesting happens, I'll just like fade in and out to different points in the video. But I won't make you watch, like I probably won't do a 100% run of this game, so you won't be having to see me do the whole Lapis Ruins, which is like 100 or 200 floors. I'm not a sadist, and I want you to want to keep watching my videos. So I will do everything I can to keep them interesting, and show the game experience without making it monotonous and boring to watch. But as you can see, Louie has a very nice, powerful strike, but he is a little bit slow, which you might not be able to feel just because you haven't played the game and seen the other characters, but especially after having played the game a lot more, I can feel it very heavily. As you can see, we can't carry anymore, so we're going to have to toss some stuff out. Now, if I'd gotten some levels, I'd know what those things were on the ground. However, one thing that's important to note is that generally the stuff you don't know is more valuable than the stuff that you do. But there's always some things that you know what their value is, like an apple. It's got a value of 300, and that's actually, for right now, not all that bad. Fairly useful. Candy has 300, well, hat, so on and so forth. So what we're actually going to want to do is find stuff that doesn't really matter all that much, that we don't have too much of, and toss it out. Like that slime fluid here, we're just going to throw that away. We're going to be finding plenty of that stuff. And heck, we'll just use the apple. And then we'll just steal this apple and take this ingredient. However, yeah, that kind of thing can happen. And that's actually probably the most annoying thing in the game. When you come upon something that would be useful, and sometimes you just keep picking back up the same thing, or you'll drop an item, and then that'll be what's in the chest, so you smack the chest to open it up and get the same item, and it's annoying. Or in smacking the chest, you accidentally pick up the item you just dropped. I don't want to make it sound like this isn't a good game, though, because it's very fun. More just being critical, in a hopefully interesting way. And not overly nasty, because I really do love this game. It's very fun, very addictive, and you can lose hours to this game without even noticing it very easily. Very much like Minecraft in that respect. It's not a very Minecraft-like game, but it's also a, indie, small developer kind of a thing. That's really the only way you can compare it. Oh, one interesting thing of note, too, is that while obviously foodstuffs increases your health, desserts increase your mana. So, finding candy, for example, you can use candy to heal yourself of your SP costs. So if you found a whole bunch of candy, you can feel free to use your magic a little bit more. Just Louie's magic, until he gets his second one, I don't really abuse it that much, unless I'm surrounded. And let's find something else to drop off, because I want that item that's there, or that candy. Because candy's worth 300, but it's also, there's going to be an event coming up in the plot that'll make that even more useful. So, let's see here. I'll ditch... Definitely don't want to ditch that. Let's see. Chestnuts really aren't all that useful. We'll be picking up a lot more of those. And we can't even mix those yet. So, candy is obviously way more important because we can already sell it. You don't get the ability to fuse items until a little bit later after you've sold some stuff, which is hopefully something I'll show off in a video soon. Because the way I plan to do shop sections is I'll record the whole thing, and then I'll show whenever I get a level up, or when something interesting happens. Because, well, that's interesting. Hopefully. Also, when my frame rate's only 50, it feels about right for the game. Except that Louie is entirely too slow, but that's Louie. And here we've come to the end of the dungeon. And there is the treasure chest. Most dungeons at the very end of a 5-floor section have a boss, but as this is the introductory one, it doesn't. This is... Did I do it? I did, didn't I? I did it! I cleared the Hall of Trials! Yokata! Oh, sweet mystery of life. Now you'll give me money! Way to go, Louie! Recettear! This is all thanks to you guys. This is all well and good, but there is still a treasure chest just ahead. It behooves us to investigate thoroughly. Tyr, you really do like going for the money, don't you? What? I do not spout such foolishness. There's no need to treat me like a flying ball of greed. Hey now. I love me some treasure too. Don't worry, Tyr. I feel you on this. Really, you two completely misunderstand me. Poor Tyr. So, smack. And inside? So the contents of the chest? Ha! Give me just a second here. Cards. Hey! Wow, cards! So, this is an Adventurer's Guild card. Here. Recette, take one, like we promised. Huh? Oh yeah, okay. While you did promise to give us your card eventually, we are not so crass as to demand your very first card. You really should think about who you want to give your first... No, I want this. Recette, I beg you, please, take my very first card. I'd love to. Thanks, Louie. Awesome. I can't wait to adventure with you two some more. Merde. Really now, young people. And we will adventure with him one more time, but since I want to show off as many different adventures as I can, I'm not going to abuse him. Hey, Tyr, what's the thing that just showed up? Ah, yes, that. This is what is commonly referred to as a Translate. A door of return, I mean. If you enter that door, you can return to the town in an instant. This one appeared because we have cleared the dungeon, but they are often encountered during normal exploration too. I believe they normally appear every 5 levels or so. In fact, they do. But wait, if we take this back to town when we're already halfway in, don't we have to start at the beginning all the way again? Not at all. You can always head back to the floor that had a door in it. In fact, if you do not use the door, you do have to restart if you lose. So if we find a door, we should always use it? Almost always. If we need to rest or unload, then we should use the door. Remember, though, returning takes some time. Furthermore, leaving ends the current contract with our companion, and we would have to rehire him or choose a new one. If there is something specific in a dungeon that you desire, you can simply ignore the door and press onward. For example, in New Game Plus, it's actually beneficial to clear out the second dungeon in one go, just because that way you get something at the end and you move the plot ahead. Alrighty then. I think we have to go home now, though. Quite so. Oh, just to be sure in the future, please try to avoid referring to this as going home, yes? Okay. And when we want to go back home, we just slash open the door, and I think you can walk in from the other side. Yep, return to town now. And it says clear! And what were our spoils? Oh, also, having adventurers carry things does mean you get more stuff overall. Because as you can see, 21. So we got a chocolate bar. A simple chocolate made with a cocoa base, suitable for making your own confections with. Iron armband. Not only does it look rather cool, but this metal armband is very good at protecting your limbs. Slime fluid. Is this the body of a slime or the blood that holds it together? For that matter, who can tell, really? Another one. Unthankful statue. A statue with a broken head. Don't expect much thanks on the market for this. But one thing that's important is that even though that might be a lesser item, it is of a different kind than any of the others, so that's why I kept it even though its base price is only $150. Plus, normal people will actually buy it as it's considered a decoration and a treasure. Important to keep in mind. Another slime fluid, another chocolate bar, chestnut. +2. The well-known nut with the spiky shell, called a land urchin by some, it is quite painful when stepped on. Another combination item or ingredient, wooden armband. A stylish armband made out of tough wood, popular with young and cheap adventurers. Slime fluid, wooden helm, used by poor adventurers the world over. This helm seems to radiate the crafter's kindness and pity. Scrap plate. A simple breastplate made of scraps of material hastily sewn together. Surprisingly effective for the price. Another chestnut. Candy. A popular fruit-flavored candy. People keep saying you can find gold prize wrappers, but no luck today. Wool hat. A commonly knitted hat. Still better than nothing if you need some head protection. An apple. This apple is a bit sour, so best used in a jam or pie. Still perfectly edible, though. Another chestnut, another iron armband, another candy, and warrior's helm. That's worth a lot of money, and we're selling that sucker. The standard helmet of any serious adventurer. It's pretty heavy, so mind how fast you move your neck. And now, we'll be finishing up soon, as we're nearing the limit. So, in fact, actually, this is where I'm going to stop for now. So, just going to bring up the menu and save. I hope that you've enjoyed. This is my current game. I haven't gotten max merchant level, as that is around 50 or so, but I will show you some stuff in that eventually. But for now, here we are at day 2, and I hope that you'll join me next time for more of our Let's Play of Recettear here at Choose One Studios. I've been your host, Corinne, and I hope that you have yourself an absolutely wonderful day, and that you join us next time. Thank you.